Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is January 4th, 2025, and La Liga have officially informed Barcelona that they won't be registering Dani Olmo and Pau Victor. So of course the question is, what will be Barcelona's next step, or what will be Barcelona's recourse? We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and we begin this video with good news because today Barcelona started the year with a victory over Unión Deportiva Barbastro, beating them 0-4 in the round of 32 of the Copa del Rey, and as such Barcelona have qualified to the next round, which will be the round of 16. Now, I did do a post-match live analysis analyzing the match, so if you do want to hear my thoughts and opinions about Barcelona's match, make sure to check out the video. Now, during the match, we did see some debuts, including Wojciech Szczesny, who finally debuted with Barcelona as their goalkeeper, but not only Szczesny, we also saw the debut of Toni Fernandes, the 16-year-old attacker who's been killing it with Barca Athletic, one of the most promising players currently in the reserve team. And in debuting, Toni Fernandes actually made history because at 16 years, 5 months, and 17 days, he has become the second youngest player to debut with the first team in the history of Barcelona. Of course, with the youngest being Lamine Yamal. So congratulations to Toni Fernandes. And I can't wait to see him playing more minutes with the first team, because even though he played very few minutes during today's match, I did see some flashes and some promising moments, and he left me wanting more. So hopefully we'll see more of the youngster. Now, from good news, we move on to bad news, because it is official. La Liga have informed Barcelona that Dani Olmo and Pau Victor will not be registered. And of course, this is bad news, because since they're not going to be registered, that means they will have to miss the rest of the season. But Barcelona do have a plan to try to get the two players registered. And before I tell you that plan, first, let me remind you, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. All this helps this channel continue to grow. If you are looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure to Goal Kids, Kickback, or Fanatics. And if you are looking to place any sports bets, make sure to bet us. All links are down below in the description. And now let's return to the news, because as I reported in yesterday's podcast, Barcelona submitted to La Liga yesterday, January 3rd, proof of payment from that VIP deal. As you know, John Laporta sold the rights of VIP seats to two investors in the Middle East for 20 years in exchange of 100 million euros. Barcelona submitted all the paperwork from that deal to La Liga before December 31st deadline to get Olmo and Pau Victor registered. However, La Liga rejected that paperwork because they wanted to see proof of payment. And Barcelona were missing 28 million euros in order to satisfy this proof of payment. Barcelona received that payment yesterday, Friday, January the 3rd. Once they received the payment, they showed it to La Liga. La Liga accepted it and approved the deal, and as such, Barcelona reached a 1-1 rule. However, La Liga did not inform Barcelona whether they were going to accept the registrations of Dani Olmo and Pau Victor. Now, Barcelona were in contact with the Royal Spanish Football Federation all throughout the night to see if the registrations were going to happen, because after all, it's the Royal Spanish Football Federation that issues the licenses. It's La Liga that approves or disapproves it, but it's the Royal Spanish Football Federation that issues the licenses. And Barcelona were in contact with them the entire night to figure out what's going on. But the Royal Spanish Football Federation told Barcelona, look, if we don't get the green light from La Liga, there's nothing we could do. Our hands are tied. And while finally today, La Liga did not give the green light, and as such, both La Liga and the Royal Spanish Football Federation issued an official notice stating that they were not going to be granting Dani Olmo and Pau Victor their licenses. Now, this is what the statement read: following FCB's compliance with La Liga's economic control requirements on January 3rd, 2025. That's, of course, referring to that payment proof that Barcelona submitted from the VIP deal. And once the club has completed the relevant documentation, La Liga's budget validation body has decided to extend FC Barcelona's sporting squad cost limit from the aforementioned date. So this is again confirming that Barcelona have indeed reached the 1-to-1 rule. In this regard, having been requested the licenses for the aforementioned players by FC Barcelona, and after analysis of the applicable federative regulations, the monitoring committee agrees not to grant the preliminary license nor the definitive license requested by FC Barcelona for the players Mr. Daniel Olmo Carvajal and Mr. Pau Victor Delgado, in accordance with the literal interpretation of Articles 130.2 and 141.5 of the general regulations of the Royal Spanish Football Federation, which prevents a player whose license is cancelled from being able during the course of the same season to obtain a license in the same team of the club to which he was already linked. So there you have it, the official decision of La Liga and the Royal Spanish Football Federation accepting the VIP deal, and as such confirming that Barcelona have reached the 1-to-1 rule, but saying that it's too late because Dani Olmo and Pau Victor's licenses expired on December 31st. Barcelona did not reach the 1-to-1 until January 3rd, and even though technically they could register any player under the 1-to-1 rule starting January 3rd, by then the licenses of Pau Victor and Dani Olmo had been expired, and you cannot register a player twice during the same season, and issuing them new licenses, that counts as registering a player twice. So as such, Dani Olmo and Pau Victor will not be registered, and therefore they could miss the remainder of the season. However, Barcelona do have a plan. Now, the plan for Barcelona is to resort to the courts in order to request a precautionary measure. Barcelona want to go to the Higher Council for Sports, which is the highest court for sports currently in Spain. It's kind of like the Supreme Court of Sports in the country of Spain. So Barcelona will file with the Higher Council for Sports a request to allow the registration of Dani Olmo and Pau Victor under precautionary measures, and the argument that's going to be used is the right to work. In other words, look, these two players, they have a contract, they're willing to work, they're able to work, they're getting paid to work. Please let them work. So that's going to be the argument. It's going to be the right to labor argument, which is the same argument that Barcelona used in the case of Gavi, and the courts accepted it, and Gavi was registered under a precautionary measure. So Barcelona will use the same argument at the Higher Council for Sports in order to register Pau Victor and Dani Olmo under the precautionary measure until the remainder of the season. Now, Barcelona will be filing their legal draft on Tuesday because Monday it's a holiday in Spain. So Tuesday, it's the first day that the court will open, and that's when Barcelona will file their legal draft, which means that kind of puts in doubt whether both players will be available for the semifinal of the Spanish Super Cup, which is on January 8th, the following day, on Wednesday. Unless, of course, the court rules on the same day and grants the licenses, then maybe the two of them will be available for the semifinal. And this is, of course, all assuming that the court would even accept Barcelona's request. Now, if the Higher Council for Sports does not accept Barcelona's request for precautionary measure, if they reject it, then Barcelona will resort to the justice courts, the regular justice courts, not the sports courts, the Higher Council for the Higher Council for Sports. That's the highest court in sports, so there's no higher than it. So if that court rejects Barcelona's request, Barcelona will go to the regular courts of justice in Spain. Now, speaking of Dani Olmo and Pau Victor, it has been revealed that today Joan Laporta met with both players. Laporta was supposed to travel to the match of UD Barbastro with the team. However, he didn't because he was in an extensive meeting with Pau Victor and Dani Olmo. Both players showed up to the Ciudad Esportiva not knowing if they were going to be registered or not, and hoping that they would and they could go to the match with the team. But of course, the news came down that they weren't going to be registered, so they weren't even allowed to board the bus. The team left without them, and then Laporta stayed behind, where he had a very long and extensive meeting with both players, where he apologized to both players and where he asked them for patience and also for trust that the club will be able to register them through the precautionary measure. Barcelona are very optimistic they're going to be able to get this measure through the courts. And Laporta, telling them, hey, we're optimistic. Please have patience. Please have faith. And, of course, apologizing because, after all, the players did express that they were upset because the club had promised them. The club said, hey, look, when we get the money from the VIP deals, it will be registered. Where the money arrived, and they weren't registered. Yes, Barcelona reached a 1-to-1 rule, which of course is something to celebrate because it's the first time we're under the 1-to-1 rule in 4 years. But nonetheless, the players were left without registration, so they expressed that they were upset. Laporta apologized and asked for patience and faith. Anyways, that is all the news for this video. I did do the post-match live analysis. If you haven't seen it, make sure to check it out. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. And as always, Visca Barça.